Welcome to Valentine Bluff and 2021 Slash's Paradise and our first episode of the new year.
Hey, Lance, I haven't seen you since last year.
Oh
dude.
man, since Christmas.
Golly.
Woo.
Oh yeah. I was getting into the spirit of the time.
The time.
Yeah. I wasn't gonna call it a holiday. I'm not gonna call it a holiday.
It's a Hallmark holiday.
Yeah, like created by Hallmark.
Exactly.
Right?
So it's not a but the last time that we were together, we were talking about nothing but holiday films.
We were talking about an actual holidays.
Actual holidays.
Right.
But I mean, there's other films like Hallmark holidays that we were talking about as well.
For sure.
But we just had a break. We had a long break.
Yeah, we had a long break.
I mean, we took all of January off.
We did take all of January off, and here's why. Nothing comes good well in January.
No.
Like they say about the movies. Beware of the January movies, right? They're like, it's where like if it looks like, oh my God, this could have been an Oscar contender. They dump it in January, so it's like because it's a year-long consideration. The good ones are like the real Oscar contenders are released in December,
right,
towards the end of the year, so that the buzz is still there. It's the buzz.
It's a buzz. January sucks.
January sucks.
There's like nothing that happens in January that's exciting. It's always the most depressing time of the year for me.
Yeah, I think the only thing I look forward to in January is what is it? Have 30 or 31 days?
31.
31. That's the day I look forward to. The last day of it.
Yeah, because it's over.
Yeah, and that's because when it's over is when I'm happy. And then
we start new holidays, even if they're not real holidays.
I know. So would you consider a holiday? Maybe a holiday should be considered. I'm just going to adjust this real quick, and I'm going to get to the point. And I'm so glad that you brought that up because and if I may be, now holidays. Maybe do they consider that if you work somewhere, you get the day off? Or there's maybe people who get days off from work, or if you were at school, you got the day off. So then maybe Valentine's Day was never, ever going to be a holiday.
I guess. I mean, Halloween is not a holiday.
No, but it's my favorite fucking time of the year.
Me too. Okay. Anyway, we're past January and we're headed into February and it's Valentine's Day coming up, everyone.
So weird because February has other obvious, more important days to remember. Yes. Yet here we are.
Make me look like a dick right now. Make me look like a dick right now.
No. What I'm saying is like, I'm talking about the fact that February is probably known for the most part for what? Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Especially, okay, if you're a movie exec, you got all the money and Halloween just came out or not just came out, but like Halloween exists, Black Christmas exists. And these movies are existing on these like days that are monumental all of the year. Let's go. Valentine's Day. Let's do something. Right. But let's lean the absolute hell into it. You just mentioned, where are we coming? We're actually, we've transported. We're coming to you live, not from, within the Slasher's Paradise. We're in
Valentine Bluff.
If you live in a town, Lance, it's called Valentine Bluff. You have no choice.
No.
There's 3,000 people that live there, maybe? What did the sign say?
Maybe.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I'm kind of spoiling. We're not just talking about nothing.
Calm down, man.
We're not talking about nothing.
Let's talk about our own personal Valentine's days.
I'd love to get into that.
Yeah, I know you would. That's why I brought it up. Why the hell else would I bring up Valentine's Day? All right.
What do you want to know?
I want to know what was your favorite Valentine's Day? What's worthy of sharing with the world?
I mean, there have been some clunker Valentine. I'll share a clunker. How about that? Because like any Valentine's Day. Since I met Caitlin have been my favorites.
Aww.
As a matter of fact, every day with Caitlin has been my favorite.
Can we we'll put some points? How many points do you need? How many points does he get?
I need them all. No, I'll share a clunker. It was a clunker because later it was revealed to me as a clunker, and I hated that because at the time I thought I was swinging and hitting 400 whatever for the year. I was I was like, this is awesome. First of all, this isn't new. Horror isn't new in Danny Gonzalez's life. I love it. I have loved it. I will always love it. And I decided, Valentine's Day is coming up. I could maybe see what movies are coming out because I maybe plan a date with a movie and like dinner and a movie. That's always nice, but it's it's clean. And it's classic.
Right.
And if you do it right, who gets it? Honestly, what's wrong with dinner and a movie? It's a classic sort of thing. Maybe it's not a first date thing. They always say, don't go on a first date to a movie because you won't be able to talk to the person.
Oh man, I wish I'd known that.
But that's what they say. And then you do go on a first date and they're like, no, it's okay. We'll talk anyway. And then I'm mad because you're talking to the movie. I don't want to date you.
Oh
You
yeah,
know what I mean?
that's a definite.
Yeah, don't
killer.
talk to me during the movie. I'm watching.
Yeah, don't talk during the movie.
Don't talk during the movie. Not like we have to deal with that right now because nobody's going to the movies. So it was the remake for Friday the 13th.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I'm kind of blowing this up a little bit, but if anyone has seen, and we may eventually get into this down the road.
We will eventually, yes.
And the Life of Paradise. The Slasher's Paradise.
He's been waiting to do that for the last 2 months.
It's not going to be
I
the
have gotten a
last
text
time.
every single day waiting for that moment.
It's not going to be the last time, folks. It's just going to come out whenever it does. It's Friday the 13th, the remake. Without giving away too much, because we will do, obviously, a thing about it, the movie features gratuitous nudity.
And one of the most realistic sounding sexual scenes I've ever seen in...
Oh, the stupendous scene. So anyway, I'm in the theater, right, with the girl I'm dating at the time. And I don't realize, I look around, right? I don't realize.
You don't realize that you're looking around?
I don't realize that I look around to realize this now. Once I look around, I realize she may be one of 3 girls in a packed house of Friday the 13th moviegoers.
Ooh, okay.
And I was like, oh, this is fine. She's with me. I protect her from these horror movie nerds.
Little does she know that you are probably the biggest one in the theater.
But I showered, so that makes me bad. So that's dumb. So the movie has all this gratuitous nudity, and it's just, that's basically the clunker of the story. Is like there was a lot of nudity. It was a heavy sex scene, and we leave, and she gave me one of those. So you enjoyed that?
Oh,
and I was like, yeah, no, actually. The problem with remakes, I just go into this horror mode where I'm talking about movies. She's like, no, that's not what I'm talking about.
This was a Slasher's Paradise precursor.
Yes. This sent me on my way. Anyway, it was not probably the best, but I thought it was such a romantic thing to take the girl I'm dating with to dinner, which it was actually at the theater too, because it was the Alamo Draft House.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I mean, you can.
I know that place very well.
Yeah. So, but I had a good time and she did not, and it was just me being too much of a horror fan for my own good.
Oh man,
it's not a good day.
It led to an entirely awkward date.
It was very awkward. Yeah.
I remember my first Valentine was in preschool and I had no idea what it was. My mom, I remember taking me, there's nothing romantic about this story. My mom took me and was like, here, pick out like Valentine's Day cards for your schoolmates. I'm like, what the hell is Valentine's Day? So I pick out some random thing. I'm like, I don't know, puppies are cool.
Yeah, puppies are cool.
My preschool everyone had their own bag, and you basically went and put your own Valentine in everyone's bag. And that was my first Valentine's Day. I don't think I've had much of a memorable one.
It was like a preschool then. Speed dating?
Pretty much.
Hey, let me throw it out and see who bites.
Like, yeah, but I couldn't read at the time. I mean, it's fucking preschool. I'm like 3.5 years old. So it was like a really random.
Yeah, you're like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I guess I'll do it.
I guess it was my first, like, my only ever speed dating thing. Because I got a bunch of Valentines that day. I pulled Valentines because I had to.
Yeah, everyone was required. You took Valentines and then okay, so you ever bought like you're in elementary and you buy the Valentine's box of cards, right? You buy the Valentine's Day, you buy the Valentine's cards, and there's like they're like wallet size, most of them, but then like they'll sneak in 2 or 3 that are big,
the special ones,
and you have to decide. Your mom's helping you fill them out or whatever. She's like, do you want to give like these to your teacher? I'm like, what? Like,
no,
not now. No, I'm not going to give these to my teacher. She's like, well, who do you want to give them to? And then it's the decision.
I know.
You're like, I got to give these to the girl that I want like to have the biggest Valentine. So that when you're giving them out, they'll be like, you got the big one. That's it. I went to a weird school.
Obviously.
Everybody's screaming like R2-D2. I don't know.
All right. Well, that leads us back to 1981 in Valentine Bluff. Let's talk about a great slasher film. Right in the cusp of slashers. And we've had 1980 was the big boom, right? I mean, we had Halloween, which came out, and then that gave us a little bit of space. And then 1980 was the boom.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're 1981, and the boom is continuing on. Slashers Paradise. Danny, we're talking about My Bloody Valentine.
My Bloody Valentine.
Oh, baby. I really want to get into this one because this is one of my favorites. It's Quentin Tarantino's favorite slasher film. I don't know if you know that.
I did not know that.
There's a million interesting facts about this film. We're going to spread them out throughout the whole episode. I have a bunch of them in my head. I hope I get them all to you because I know that there's got to be some fans out there and be like, you didn't say this one fact. So I'm going to try to get to them.
That's usually me after we're done recording. I'm like, let's see the one fact about the one Loomis's brother who was in the hospital. What? I don't know.
Okay. Danny, My Bloody Valentine, 1981. Let's get our pumpkin spice latte, our first one of 2021. Do not fuck this up. I swear to God.
I'll try not to.
Danny, on you.
Pumpkin spice latte for My Bloody Valentine, 1981. The story takes place in a sleepy town of Valentine Bluff, centering around a local bloody legend of a mining accident gone terribly wrong. A group of miners were not looked after by their supervisors and were blown to bits by rising methane levels that led to them being trapped underground. By the time they were able to be rescued, they had found out that the 5 had been only 1, which was Harry Warden, who had sustained himself living by eating his other co-workers, and Harry then goes on a rampage and kills everyone who was involved. The movie establishes the lore, then fast forwards to 20 years later, where it is now the first Valentine's Day dance of Valentine Bluff, and some things are starting to go awry on this momentous day that probably should not be happening. People start to die in eerily similar ways as to the original killer of Harry Warden. And that is My Bloody Valentine.
What a interesting story. This is like every campfire story, right? Like,
I think so.
It's one version of it. I think the remake is even more so. But before we get to that, just the opening of this film to me was so fucking creepy. There's no music, there's no sound. You dive right into the mine with 2 people dressed in the helmet, the gas mask, their lights are on, the jumpsuits and all this, and it's just quiet, and there's 2 people walking through the mine,
and pretty much all you could hear is them breathing.
Pretty much that's it. There's no music, there's nothing. That's just the opening shot, is these 2 people walking through. They're on a mission of some sort.
They're trying to get somewhere.
Yeah,
I just don't know where.
Well, I think I know where.
Oh yeah. So they're obviously trying to find us. Not that there are, you're pretty much alone if you're 2,000 feet underground in this mine.
900 feet.
900 feet in this mine. And
I'm telling you, there are so many facts. I know so many facts about this.
That's good.
Thing.
No, you got to get the right information, because 900 versus 2,000, they're different numbers. So yeah, the movie establishes with this really cool, eerie moment before the credits even roll, or the title card even rolls. And it is such a moment that's like, the table is set. I'll put it that way. The table is set right away. You know what you're in for, because if you have not seen any trailer, no promos for this movie, you watch it, you're like, it's just 2 people in gas mask walking down a mine. Then one of them reveals himself to be a woman. She takes off her mask. She's got the big blonde hair. She does the Vidal Sassoon commercial, right. Or the Pantene Pro V or whatever it's called. And she's got a heart tattoo on her chest, on her voluptuous chest.
Which resembles HBK's.
Oh, yeah.
The Heartbreak Kid.
Shawn Michaels, the Heartbreak Kid, the Heartbreak Man.
If you didn't know, we're wrestling fans too, so I had to throw it in there.
Just change his name. He's like, I'm not a kid anymore. I'm not a kid. Anyway, so and she, she's being very sensual with the minor, and MINER, by the way. Okay, with all the funny people. Yeah. And he doesn't want the mask taken off. He's like, no, don't take it off me. He just says no, but I added the the extra context.
Yes.
And he proceeds to kill her
immediately.
He kills her immediately, pushes her on a stake coming out of the wall. Very Halloween 6.
Ooh.
Or was it the pickaxe?
It was the pickaxe.
He put the pickaxe and then he pushed her on the pickaxe.
He just pushed the pickaxe into her heart, into her chest.
Right through that tattoo. I'm like, first of all, dude, great aim. What do you have, X-ray vision?
It's like we're in a My Bloody Valentine movie or something.
And there comes the title card. You know what I love? What I love so much about movies that were the classics is the little in the down corner. What would you call that? That little it's got it's like My Bloody Valentine. The little heart drips. It looks like someone did this on their Macintosh, and it's just established 1981, with the little company. Just when you watch it, folks, pay attention to that. It's something that these classic films have.
70s and 80s, especially.
Yeah, Friday the 13th has it as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like the company card, or
it's like the copyright stamp or something like that.
That's probably what it is.
Yeah. And that's our opening, and I love the opening because you're right. It sets us up okay, there's going to be some lusting around, and now we have a serial killer who's we don't know if it's a serial killer yet, but we have a masked killer who's pretty brutal. I mean, using a pickaxe.
Yeah.
And interesting fact number 1. It's never mentioned in this film that it's a coal mining company, but it is.
I was like, what are they mining?
It is coal, but it never directly references that. So this was shot in Canada.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Okay, that's not the fun fact. The fun fact is the town was so excited that they were going to have a film in their town and in their mining, mine, that they spent $50,000 of their own money, the city's money, to restore the mine. And then the production crew came in and said, shit, they spent $75,000 of their budget to distort it back to what it was.
Oh my God.
So we're already at a loss driving into our filming location for My Bloody Valentine. Yes. And this is an actual mining town.
That sounds like My Stupid City. That sounds like something My Stupid City
would do. Mine too. Yeah,
we're like, we got. Let's act like we've never been around people before. Let's go all out and spend $50,000 on restoring something.
My town's doing that right now. Actually,
they're restoring their mine.
They're not their mine, but they're parking. They like this reverse parking thing and these weird turnarounds. And it's a small town. You don't need turnarounds. But anyway, that's what they're spending their money on these days.
Taxes. Let me tell you something. No, I'm not going to do that.
Anyway. So that's our interesting fact number 1 or number 2, I guess.
That's so.
You imagine we got this perfect place we're gonna film in. We can't wait. We've booked it. We've got insurance. We got everything ready to go. And then you show up and it's pristine. And the whole point of the movie, which was called The Secret, nobody wanted them to know that it was a Valentine movie because they didn't want it to get stolen.
Oh gosh, yeah. No. That's I'm not gonna shit on that. That's probably it was probably a huge risk or opportunity for other people.
It's a risk and an opportunity, but what's the funny thing about this? What weekend does this happen on?
Valentine's Day weekend?
Valentine's Day weekend, yes. Saturday the 14th.
Oh. What?
Yes. This movie starts on Thursday the 12th.
Yes.
And concludes on Saturday the 14th. What's in between there?
No, let me see. Hold on. Okay, because math is not my strong suit. Okay, hold on.
12,
okay,
14.
No, hold on. Thursday, right, was the 12th?
Yep.
So Friday. Okay, hold on. Saturday?
Friday the 13th. That's where we're at. There was a quick nod. They never show Friday the 13th, but it happens over this weekend.
If it's Saturday the 14th, which I couldn't get through that film that exists. It's like a parody film.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know about that.
Jeffrey Tambor plays like a a real vampire, and I maybe got like 10 minutes into it. I'm like, I can't watch this.
That reminds me, there's a holidays movie. Did you know about this?
Yes.
Kevin Smith isn't. Did we mention that before?
Probably not. Not when we talked about holidays. No.
Okay, so that's a thing. We'll watch it maybe someday. But
yeah.
Anyway.
No, but that's so funny. They're like, we're not going to tell you what it is, but
there's so many similarities to everything slasher. There's even a character in there called Michael, which to me,
anytime you name a character Michael, Jason, the Kincaid's dog's name is Jason, the one that pees on Freddy. There's a Freddy. Busta Rhymes' name is Freddy. Like, I hate that shit.
Yeah, and
I really hate that shit.
It's in here. There's a lot of it in here, like little tiny nods here and there that kind of say there's so many vibes in this film. I'm like, ooh, that reminds me of this film and this film and this film, and I think that's on purpose. These guys love their slasher flicks. This one stands apart in certain ways. There are two versions of the film.
Oh,
there's the theatrical version, which you can watch pretty much anywhere, and then there's the one that sets My Bloody Valentine and our killer away from everyone. And that is the original cut, which is an extra 9 minutes, which adds so much more aggression to our killer.
Really?
And opens up every single kill a little bit more. This thing got slammed with the rating system.
The MPAA.
They got an R rating. And it's not even close to what it wanted to be. Apparently, our makeup crew did so well that the director was throwing up on the set. Like,
okay, look, folks,
we've opened up a can of worms on this film.
There's obviously going to be some spoilers. I mean, it's not. You should watch these podcasts, movies, or videos, and watch and listen to us, knowing that you should watch these movies already as well. This is not a watch along, but you should watch these movies. We're going to obviously be talking about plot points and huge spoilers in this movie. So obviously, and that goes without saying for everything, but there are hearts being taken out of victims and placed into Valentine's Day boxes that resemble, they resemble hearts, hearts. And I could say that, right? They resemble those, where the chocolates, and in that they're putting human hearts. The hearts look so realistic, the fake human hearts. I mean, there's a boiled one, there's a fresh one, I think there's a one that was in a dryer. No, that was just a person. That wasn't their heart. But anyway, there's some real cool effects happening in this movie.
Yes, so much so that they had to be cut out because they're so realistic or so gory.
They had to be cut out from the chest?
Rip them out. Yes. That's how bad it was. I mean, Harry Warden, who was stuck in the mine, we see is a cannibal. Spoiler. But yeah. Just look up Harry Warden. There's one shot of Harry Warden without a mask or anything, and it's hilarious.
And I think that day is when the makeup crew was they took their day off.
Yeah, I think it's before they were probably the ones making the mine look old again. You know, they were the ones like, oh shit, we got to do that. Somebody else go take care of Harry.
Well, let me tell you, Lance, watching this movie, and every time we do one of these, folks, Lance and I either like to pull from memory, or we do definitely like to watch fresh again, which is so fun, and is what we like to invite you guys to do with us, because watching these movies with the idea that you want to be not hypercritical, but a huge fan. Be a fan of the source material, which is what we try to do. Watching this the other day, Lance, let me tell you, this movie is going to be, I mean, it honestly is one of my top slashers of all time.
Yes.
I will recommend this movie. Everybody says, I need movie recommendations. You ever people post I need movie recommendations. Man. They're like, I need it. And then you give it to them and they're like, what is it? I'm like, I'm sorry that all my recommendations probably are horror, but at the same time, these movies fucking rock.
Yes.
I'm not going to give you bad horror recommendations. I'm not going to tell you to go watch Troll 2 unless you're like at a midnight viewing when like everybody's like shitting on it. Then that's fun. But like My Bloody Valentine, 1981. Mm-hmm. It's got everything. It's of course it's a slasher. It's a masked villain. It's a unique killing option as far as like his tool. It's a whodunit.
Yes.
You know, we don't know. I mean, it's very ambiguous. It's like, well, is it really Harry or, you know, Harry? Because Harry Warden was caught and committed to an insane asylum back, you know, when he originally attacked, right? Because that's what this town is known for. It's like the town has such a sketchy past that but it's 20 years later. At this point, Valentine Bluff they're making Valentine's cards and Harry Warden's on them, you know, they're like, he's almost like, you know, their local hero. Yeah. But it's like, yes, it was a heinous, you know, gross act that he killed, you know, some people, but it's fine. This is what we're known for. It's like, I don't know, if you're like the town that is the birthplace of Charlie Manson, and you're like, yeah, come visit us, have your Charlie Manson portrait taken or whatever the fuck.
Right. Like there's no tourism in this town or anything like that. It's a very small mining town, and our main characters all work in the mine. I mean, at least the guys do, and then it's their girlfriends and whatnot.
If you got to work in the mine, you got to know your way around.
That's right. So again, like small town. Like think about that. If something big happened there, you get your news for a year, and then after that, it's kind of like you just move on from it. And the first, you know, batch of characters that we get is a bunch of fun-loving dudes showering together.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with showering together.
They were actually naked, by the way. Another fun fact.
Oh, you can't do that. Well, no, you can do that. You can be naked on set. I don't know. I'm trying to remember, and every time Caitlin tells me about it, and I forget about it anyway. It's this part in Parks and Rec where Chris Pratt, you know, is supposed to be naked at the door, and Amy Poehler opens it. She doesn't know he's going to be naked because it's shot to where he's like blurred out, but he was actually naked and apparently got into a lot of trouble. Anyway,
wow.
This was like, yeah. So the point is like these guys, you set like a lot of movies try to establish camaraderie, establish fun-loving groups, and they miss.
Yeah.
Like you could tell no chemistry whatsoever. I felt that they cast these men and had them all go on a month-long or week retreat to a cabin or some shit.
Bachelor retreat.
Yeah. They were so, I mean, if they weren't all real friends in real life, that was some of the best acting I've ever seen. Like, I mean, you get so many cool characters. You get the goofball. You get like what's supposed to be the heartthrob. You get the leader of the pack. You get like the big goof, a bigger goof, and you get, quite frankly, one of the best characters in horror film history.
And who was that, Danny?
His name is Hollis. Hollis is my guy. First of all, he's a bigger guy. Seeing a bigger guy being depicted in a positive way that's not, he's, you know, like what they did with Shelly. In fact, I hate that. They're like, Shelly, you're fat. And it's like, I'm like, if Shelly's fat, then I'm gargantuan. Yeah. No. So Hollis, he's a big guy. He's got a fucking awesome mustache. Like mustache that like goes like this mustache has its own like fan forum on like horror websites and shit. Yeah. I mean, like Hollis's mustache, and honestly, genuinely, when I say leader of the pack, I was referring to Hollis. They listen to Hollis.
Yeah,
he's not the main character, but they listen to him. He commands respect. He's got a cute girlfriend who's in love with him.
Yeah,
I just love that shit. I'm like, yeah. Representation matters. Here's a big guy who's like awesome.
You mentioned the same character from Black Christmas. Remember, you mentioned Hollis being kind of the comparable. It's kind of interesting how that flipped. You know what I mean? Like when Shelly comes around, all of a sudden that flips where it's kind of he's the social outcast. He's the fat funny guy or whatever. Hollis kind of brings the rain, man. Like he's awesome to watch. He's fun to watch. He's somebody that you feel comfortable with.
Like if Hollis was a part of your party, as in like if you're throwing a real party or like your party, like, you know, party of 5, you're like, I like that Hollis is with us. I feel cool.
Yeah.
I feel safe. I like to think of myself as the Hollis.
He's the Danny Gonzalez.
I want to be the Hollis.
You are the Hollis.
I'm the Hollis.
He's the guy that you would invite to the party. Be like, he's the one that's going to set it off. He's going to get along with everyone. Everyone's going to have a conversation.
But if shit went down,
Hollis got your back.
You gotta turn to Hollis.
That's right.
Which we got to talk about one of the main plot points of the movie. There's a love triangle. A huge. Well, It's only called My Bloody Valentine. There must be some love aspects of it. There is a what's the situation? There's a love triangle.
We have Axel and Sarah who are dating.
They're dating.
Yes.
Okay.
And now we have what's his name?
TJ.
TJ, who's just come back to town.
Mm-hmm.
And I can speak to TJ's character. TJ left his small town to go and make it on his own.
Mm-hmm.
And TJ fell on his fucking face. Remember, these aren't high school kids. These people are working class. And TJ's come back. He fell on his face. He fits right back in. He goes right back to the mine. And he was once with Sarah before he left. He vanished.
But TJ brings a lot of extra, baggage with himself because his name is TJ because his name is Tom Jr. Hanniger Mine is the name of the mine. Hanniger is also the mayor. Hanniger is Tom Hanniger Sr. is TJ's father. So, establishes a little, I don't want to be here, Dad, but if I'm here, if my son is here, he's going to work in the mine.
Yep.
Let me just talk about, I love the way they kind of talk to each other in this movie. It kind of has a little bit of, hey, let me tell you something, see?
Yeah.
It has a little bit of that in certain aspects. It's like when, so Axel and TJ are like at each other's throats almost, the whole movie. In almost like a very pleasant way. Like they look like they're going to coexist.
Yeah.
I feel that from the beginning. Like, I think these guys are going to work it out. But there's a point where they're in the mine and Axel's being, extra of a hard ass on TJ. And they're like, what's with this guy? Like Hollis asks him. And TJ is like, and I'm going to paraphrase, but he's like, yeah, that son of a bitch is giving me such grief. If he keeps it up, I'm going to bust his ass, see? But he's just talking about it in that way. And it may be the character of the actor himself. TJ is played by a British actor. And I love at one point, he just gives up on the American accent. He's like, he just gives up on it. He's like, Hollis and Sarah are down in the mine. And I'm like, okay, you're Irish as well.
Yes.
What just happened here? But like when I said it made sense about a Canadian, there's some like Midwestern Canadian feel accent to some of the characters in the movie. It feels very that way. Like, no, don't you know? But that's not Canadian. But you know what I'm trying to say, Yeah.
One of the things I love about this, I mean, that love triangle kind of continues on, and TJ moves in on Axel's girl.
Hey, TJ was there first. ¿Qué onda?
All right.
TJ was there first.
Listen, TJ goes and picks up Sarah from her job and says, like, you're coming with me. Let's go.
Sarah could have said no. Let's go.
She kind of said no, but I was like, all right, I'll go.
Right. Because, look, the heart wants what the heart wants, Lance, okay?
Yeah.
And we all know that young hearts beat fast, if Karate Kid told us anything. Yeah. And Sarah is, look, I'm not going to shit on Sarah, but Sarah is making things a little bit harder than they have to be because you got two guys who are vying for her, and she has a conversation with Hollis's girlfriend. Her name is
Hollis's girlfriend,
because she's very important because she is she's probably the only. I mean, like Hollis loves her, she loves Hollis, and she kind of like pushes some major moments to happen. Like, let's go down in the mine. Huh?
Sylvia?
So Sylvia and Sarah are walking down the street, and Sylvia's like, look, you're just going to have to pick. Do you want Axel or do you want TJ? You can't have both. And Sarah's like, yeah, she wants both because I guess, like, look, this is not me currently, babe, okay? Listen. But, like, when, someone is being pulled into different directions and like one side represents something that you don't get from the other side and vice versa. Maybe you're like, can I just take this and this? And it's like, can I get the burger? But I don't want the fries. I want the onion rings.
Starting to do the Loomis voice, but just a little bit, Dad. Just a little bit.
It'd be nice if I had just a little bit. Thank you very much. But so I'm not going to shit on her. It's a normal thing to kind of like, you don't know what you're doing. TJ's back. He was the love of your life. You're a little mad at him for leaving you. It's all fine. Yeah. That's why I think this movie works so well, is because there are certain aspects that it's like, I could see this in any other movie. Yeah. It doesn't have to be a horror movie.
Right. So we have our personal drama, and then we have our town drama, which is the fact that we are going to have the first Valentine's Day dance in 20 years.
20 years.
20 years. And we're putting it together. These these cast of characters are putting this party together.
And the reason, real quick, that the Valentine's Day dances were canceled was because on the last Valentine's Day dances when Harry Warden went nuts. So they're like, no more Valentine's Day, no more.
Right. And there's a big threat of if you hold the dance, Harry Warden's going to come back.
So this is 1981. And we've already been introduced in 1980 to Crazy Ralph from Friday the 13th. So we have another Crazy Ralph-ish character. He's like the, beware the Ides of March, basically. He's the barkeep of the local watering hole. Happy. Yeah, Happy. And he's the one he's basically the, what is it? He's the backstory. He tells the tale of Harry Warden. He tells it through his eyes. And I love it because it's I don't know if you've ever been like, around with your friends and someone's like, it's your turn to tell a scary story. And you're like, I got it. And you don't want to tell, you're like, I'm going to try. But you wanted to end it like, and just when you thought that the killer can never be seen again, he was right there, and you have that moment. Well, he has that moment like, it could be you. And everyone's just like,
yeah.
Anyway.
I love the close-ups on him every single time. It was like a big 70s, 80s thing where somebody's giving you the crazy eye and telling you the story. You got to be like super close.
It almost like he looked right into the lens. Too.
Yeah. It's like looking down your soul. So yeah, we have Happy, which was also...
He wasn't happy though.
Was not very happy.
He was not very happy.
But continuing our connection to Black Christmas, he was in Black Christmas as part of the search party. So...
How about that?
There's another fact for you.
Slashers connection. It's almost like if there was a song to tie like being happy or being like totally relaxed in an area where there are slashes, it's almost like this is like Slasher's paradise. Nope.
Is that number 2 that you've gotten out today?
Just today.
Just today. Well, we got more shows to come. All right, now we have so we also have the mayor who's running around, and also
that's Tom's dad.
Yes, and then we have the sheriff. Jake
Doobie. They call him Doobie.
They call him Doobie, but why doesn't he have a badge?
Well, because no one's ever going to look at his shirt because they're looking at his fucking hair.
He has a name tag.
What's it say? I'm Doobie.
He has no badge. No, yes, and you love his hair.
I don't love his hair, Lance. I don't love his hair.
That's all I heard about was his hair.
Well, because if you look at it, he looks
like a fairy. Well, like
an elf.
Where's it from? No, there was like
Legend. He looks like Gump from Legend. No. It's the eyebrows. It's weird. It's like the hair. It almost looks like a piece. And you know what? It's fine if it is.
I don't know if it is. It's just it has the edges.
He's really edged up.
It's got some edges.
I don't know. It may be the shape of his eyes. They're a little like super almondy. Anyway, the guy looks very fantastical.
I feel Don Franks is his name, I believe. Not Don Shanks, but Don Franks. And I feel like I remember them saying like guest starring Don Franks.
Yeah, the guy's if you look at his headshot on IMDb, he's very much like,
So that makes me think that he came in and was like, I'm going to play the sheriff my way, and totally forgot his badge. Because he's got like the aerial, what is it?
Like the bomber jacket?
He's got the bomber jacket. He's just got one name tag, the collared shirt. Like nothing matches. He doesn't look like a sheriff of any town.
Well, because look, sheriffs, I realized this after watching a bunch of like movies where like the sheriff character is just thrown around so loosely. They're elected officials.
Yeah.
You don't have to have, you have to have some training. You have to have some experience, but like, you don't have to be the best. You know what I mean? So it's like, this guy grew up with everybody. He was always the straight-laced guy. He seems like, that's, Doobie. They even call him Doobie.
Yeah.
Like they're not, this is like sheriff. Is that his, please tell me that's his real last name is Doobie.
It's not Doobie. It's like Jake.
Isn't it Burke? No.
I don't know. Jake,
but they call him Doobie. Like, sorry. Isn't Doobie another word for like a, smoking a doobie or whatever, right? Like, right. So like,
and they're giving him shit. Again, our cast of characters are a bunch of fun-loving dudes. We have quite a few pranks in this,
right? Yes. It's 20 years. Which, can I just talk about something?
Yes.
Maybe don't throw the big return of the Valentine's Day dance on an even number. or like a specific anniversary. This is the 20th anniversary. If I'm a killer and I want to get away with it, I'd be like, it's the 17th anniversary. I'll return then.
That's a movie.
Right? 17 years in the making. God bless him.
Wait, wasn't that the whole H2O?
No, he was 17.
He was 17.
Okay, I'll do it another one. It's the 37th year.
There we go.
There it is. That's a random number. It's like 43 years. You know?
Yeah.
Wait till like it's like if it's a 20-year celebration, I'm over here like, you know, looking around. I was like that.
I'm going on vacation.
Yeah. On the 10th, I was looking around. On the 15th, I was looking around. And on the 20th, I'll be looking around. And the 20th is when the shit happens.
Yep.
Be, you know, try and cover your tracks a little bit.
Yeah. No, I totally get that. All right. So we've kind of introduced some of the main characters here. I want to go into some of the deaths because they are some of the best of the 80s slashers, but only if you get this uncut version, because one of my favorite deaths of probably all 80 slashers is the fountain girl. I think it's Sylvia that gets pinned up in the mines. We're goofing off in the mines because our great sheriff and mayor do decide we've seen some hearts, we've seen some deaths.
Oh, they send a heart right to the mayor.
Yeah, and we go, we're not doing the dance. The dance is off. So now our group of people that we love and adore so much are like, we're going to the mines. We're going to throw a party anyway.
Yeah, it's Tom's idea. He's like, how about my father's mine? We'll throw a party down there.
Right. And don't you fucking say anything.
And don't you tell Doobie, I don't want him sniffing around. You see.
Don't say anything, Happy. And Happy knows. So Happy sets his little trap.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. He sets up this trap for the kids and thinks it's the most awesome thing ever.
He gets so tickled.
Yes.
By it.
3 times he goes back to check out. So he goes into this closet of the mine. He knows that the kids are going to go down there for their party and set up. This is Friday the 13th. It doesn't tell you it's Friday the 13th, but this is Friday the 13th, the evening of. And he goes to this closet and sets up the overalls, the mask with the light, and ropes off this little arm crank, which is extremely dangerous. He's going to kill somebody because it's a full spring action. When you open the door, boom, you're going to get a pickaxe to the chin. And that's exactly what he does. 3 times he opens the door. 2, 3.
He's so fucking happy and proud of himself.
Yes. And on the 4th try, he walks away. And he doesn't even hear any. There's no sound to this. He's just
almost like he thinks, I was laughing a little while ago. I want to laugh again.
Like he got such a high off. He's like, yeah. Oh, I want to look again. So he goes back.
And who's there?
Who's there?
Well,
Mr. Harry Warden.
Well, we are. It's supposed to be Harry Warden. Why? Because Doobie is like, all right, I got the Valentine. I saw Hanniger get the Valentine with the heart in it. I gotta check. The most probable suspect is the guy who would do this fucking shit, Harry Warden. Yeah. Let me call the hospital where he's at. He was committed. He was committed by the court. So he calls the hospital. They're like, we don't know where he's at. We have no record of him. Nobody knows him. Call back tomorrow. It's like calling like the unemployment division. If you get started with somebody. Am I right? So it's ambiguous if it's Harry or not. They have no records of him, but they have to check the microfilms, and that's going to take a few days at least. He's like, call me when you have it. And she's like, oh my God, right? So it could be Harry. It should be Harry. It probably is Harry. But we don't know if it's Harry.
No, we don't know for sure. But our killer, we are just going to refer to as Harry Warden.
We're going to refer to him as My Bloody Valentine.
Nope.
Harry Warden is who we think the killer is. He's got the gas mask. He's got the mining hat with the light.
That's right.
And the pickaxe.
That's who's killing people is the miner. We'll call him the miner.
I like Harry Warden.
Okay, we'll call him Harry Warden.
But I like the miner.
This is the 5th time we've gone back and forth on this. Anyway, some of these kills are incredible. Once we get to the party in the mines, there's one where Harry will shove a girl, and it's very Texas Chainsaw Massacre onto the hook kind of a thing, but it's actually in the showers where we originally met the whole cast of guys. And he actually, in the uncut version, you will see
I'm like, tell me, because I haven't seen it.
Stuffs her head into the fountain, and now we have a fountain of blood coming out of her mouth, which I thought was one of the coolest things I had ever seen. Like, they went full board. Oh, you want some gore? Oh, slashers? Oh, okay, we got you. We got you.
Oh, you want arrow through the neck of Kevin Bacon. We got better than that.
We got you. Oh, you want somebody coming out of the dryer? What would they look like if they were in the dryer for 20 minutes?
Let me just talk to you about something real quick. Is that what's going to happen to me if I get locked in a dryer for 20 minutes? Yes. My skin is literally going to peel off.
Yes.
I'm going to be skin peel off. Like rice peel off.
Peel off.
Okay. Yeah, that is a gross scene. Mabel, who is running the town's decorations, you know, she's putting hearts all over the place. Everything is decorated. She's at this laundromat, and she gets killed by Harry Warden because the warning has already come.
Yeah.
Don't do this dance. I told your ass.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. And it's always in a riddle, you know, beware, all this shit. So, you know, Mabel, bless her heart, gets killed and then gets stuffed into a dryer, and Doobie finds her first. And Doobie tries to cover it up. No panic. We're going to cancel the dance. No panic.
Right.
She did not die in a
extremely heinous
way. She had a heart attack, and that's it. Right. So they say we're going to cancel everything, and of course the kids say they're going to throw their own party. But that kill, her face peeling off. I mean, I haven't seen that since Michael dipped Nurse Karen in that scalding hot.
Yeah.
Hey, same year. No, 1 year later. 2 years.
81. Was the same year.
Same year.
Oh wow.
Some burnt off faces in the same year.
We're cranking everything up.
God, I wish I was older in that time to go see that for the first time. I would have been losing it. It's all right. I saw it later, and here I am.
Talking about it.
No, but can you imagine, like if you had seen, if you were in, it's 1981, you're like, I'm gonna have a good time at the movies. You see My Bloody Valentine, you see Halloween 2. What a time to be alive! Swear to God.
I know, man. Everything's a threat. You know what I mean? Like everything. Like the laundry, the hot tub at the bottom of the hospital that everyone goes in.
The mine.
The mine. So back to the mine. What a creepy place to have a horror film.
You don't have to look. A dark corner's good enough, Lance. A dark corner's good enough.
Yeah.
No, this is dark pits.
Yes.
Depths. Endless depths. Well, not endless, but like eventually endless depths, but not by any short stretch. We're talking about 2,000 feet of dug terrain, subterranean stuff. We're talking about 60 feet deep pools of random water. We're talking about methane levels. We're talking about dark soot all over you. We're talking about rats. I mean, all that is disgusting enough. Then you're going to add a crazed killer with a pickaxe.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
And a couple of people that have no idea where they're going. There's so many different paths on this, which I don't think this film highlighted enough. And there is a remake to this film that does highlight that pretty well, but we'll get to that later.
Well, I will say.
Yes.
About the party that they end up throwing.
Oh yeah.
Because look, Tom, it's going to be it's Jacob versus Edward, right? It's Tom versus Axel. Who you picking? For me, Axel started off, he was like, I like Axel. He's cool.
Yeah.
He's just a guy who's working. He loves this girl. Then Axel is honestly, he's his own saboteur, as it were. He sabotages his own game with Sarah. He gets a little too paranoid about TJ. Sarah gives him really no reason to believe this. And then, you know, he just kind of like gets a little too handsy with her, gets a little too aggressive. He's a little too machismo. And then Axel kind of just shoots himself in the foot, and TJ kind of swoops in. But like, TJ obviously doesn't make it easy. What I'm saying here is that for the first part, I'm really team Axel. Like, all right, TJ, you don't look like the heartthrob. First of all, you look like a creep with that hair. And he's just like staring at them from across the bar, playing shuffleboard in the worst way. Why are you so angry? Throwing these fucking, these pucks or whatever. You're not supposed to throw them that fast. If you haven't hit them off the board by that time, dude, you lost the game. You know, I've played shuffleboard and it's okay. But here's the point. Up until the moment where Axel starts getting a little bit too much of a dickhead, you're like, oh, shit. Now I gotta like TJ. But what I love about the movie is that they make you like TJ.
Yeah.
Because he's like, well, screw that the Valentine's dance is canceled. How about we throw a party over at the mine? That's my father's mine. Let's throw a party over there.
Yeah.
Right. And Hollis is like, oh, yeah, the mine. What a great idea. And everybody's on board with it. And the person who's most on board with it, of course, is like the big goof. What's the goof's name? It's is it Harry? It's not Harry. It's something like Howard. Howard is the big goof. But he's like, when I say the big goof, he's like the guy who's like, I'm gonna snort some, drink through my nose and drink it in my mouth.
Yeah, he snorts Coke. Coca-Cola.
Yes. Yeah. He's like, I always wanted to snort Coke. So he's this guy who's just like being extra like goofy. And when I tell you guys that Hollis is one of the greatest characters in horror film history, I don't say that lightly, because he delivers a line that you may have said yourself, that you may have heard other people say, that you probably have heard other people say in film.
Yeah.
But it is not delivered any way close to as good as Hollis delivers the line. And the line is this. We're talking about the party, right? And TJ is there saying, let's throw the party down at my father's at the mine. And Hollis is like, I don't know if that's a good idea. And Howard, with his big goof ass, is like, oh, yeah, let's throw a party at the mine. Beware of Harry Warden. Ooh. And he starts to reach towards TJ and Hollis. And Hollis just grabs his hand and says, shut the fuck up, and throws his hand back at him. And honestly, folks, I swear to God, that is... I wish I could have that just ready on my person. Somebody says something to me, I press a button, Hollis's shut the fuck up comes out instead of mine. Honestly, it's... I rewind it like 3 or 4 times. Caitlin gets annoyed, but I do it. I'm like, I need to hear the way he says this. It's beautiful.
You can't say it any better.
No, you can't.
And it's rarely ever said. It's kind of like what you mentioned in the Halloween episodes that we said. Like, there is a way to say Michael Myers is downstairs, right?
Yes.
There's a way to say shut the fuck up.
And Hollis says it.
Hollis nails it. There's the bar. And Hollis is sitting on top of it.
You're talking about a guy with like the hair is obviously, my man crush for Hollis is huge, but like he's got the hair. He's never like, oh, I'm a big guy, so I can't do things like the fit guys would do. He just like owns himself. He's confident. I fucking love Hollis, man. Yeah. Like he's got the glasses. He's got the mustache, the hair, the hat's like on like this at one point, and he doesn't give a shit. Nope. He doesn't care. Because he's cool and he like carries himself well. So like Hollis is the man. Hollis
reminds me of like the old softball dads. You know what I mean? Like he's drinking beer. He can probably crush the ball when he wants to, but he can't field it for shit. You know, like he's just one of those softball dads.
I fucking love that. I'm imagining Hollis just going up to the plate, just being like, all right, give me what you got. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
And he
plays first. He plays first base or catcher. Like he just doesn't give a fuck to be in the field, but he will fucking slam the ball.
Yeah. That's good. I like that.
All right. So we're in the mine. Harry is chasing down people. We're taking them out one by one. We get some of the best deaths I can even tell you about. I think Howard goes down in a noose in a very gruesome way, which again I think it shows more in the unrated version.
Wait a minute. Who get? I'm blanking on. He's the tall redhead dude who, when he kisses his girlfriend,
Andy Dalton?
Yeah, Andy Dalton. When Andy Dalton kisses his girlfriend, did you see it? He palms her head because he's really tall. He palms her head like this, or like basketballs it, and picks her up to kiss. And then puts her down, and she just loves it. She's just so happy.
He's the most awkward actor ever, because remember, he goes and gets beer in the mine. She's the one that actually gets put up on the fountain, or becomes the bloody fountain. Yeah. He comes back and he's like, all right. He's That's so all he has to say is, all right. He's just revved up, ready to go, because he thinks his girlfriend's in the shower. Turns out she's on the shower, but he just reminds me of Andy Dalton the whole time. And he's one that actually tells the sheriff what's going down at the mine.
But the reason I bring that up is because I want to talk about this moment, because as an actor, actually, yeah, he is pretty awkward, but like so few times in horror do they show, which is why I really am gushing so much about Halloween 2018. And I'm hoping that they really lean into in Halloween Kills, the effects that it has on the victims. Of course, the victims who die, that's tragic and terrible, but the ones who are left alive in their wake, You never realize that. You just see body count. Well, what about their cousin? What about their boyfriend, their lover? You know, their mom or dad. How are they affected? You know, like that's one thing also that Zombie gets right in Halloween 2 when the dad of Linda going and talking. This guy, Andy Dalton, is just destroyed, dude.
Yeah.
You see when he sees his girl in the shower. My heart breaks at me because, like, you know, you have to like go through life and, you know, you sympathize with characters. But if you depict characters going through real emotions in traumatic experiences, that's exactly what a horror. I mean, yes, there's room for all types of horror. What I'm saying here is like there can be good horror movie, good movies, good plot, good story within the horror, and you see him. He's just. Not just him. No. Someone else lost their boyfriend or like person that they're looking into, and they're the ones that go and tell Doobie that the stuff is going down at the mine. That's where everyone's being attacked, and it's just he's been the snot's coming out of his nose. He's crying. Yeah. She's that
you can physically see that they are distraught. Their world has changed. I've been hearing that a lot lately with people that they lose a certain person in their life and their world changes. The world just changed because this person is gone. Not only is that person gone, but they're gone in a heinous action.
I mean, can you imagine this girl that, I mean, when he's, by all intents and purposes, we don't know if Andy Dalton and his girl got together. Like, when I mean got together, you know, she's so sweet. She's like, let's get a couple of beers. Like, they're just making out and like, you know, one of the, where they have all the coveralls and stuff, and you know he's just a sweet guy. He's like, I'll go get it. He like thinks that she's making, you know, we need protection or whatever, and he has all that stuff. And maybe he's never had any kinky stuff, so he's so excited with his leather vest. all right, like he's just, and then he's like, oh no, all wrong.
Yeah. And again, like if we could have seen what actually, because the theatrical version does not have it, but if you see the real version, you're like, oh my God, like he really did that, you know, like,
you know,
the people that made this film were fans of slasher films. There's just, that's all there is to it. And they watched and went, oh, we're going to keep our own little secret. And they pay a little homage and make things, you know, they increase things. That's why this movie, I feel like so many people love it. But at the same time, it's a little underrated because you don't get to see everything that they intended for you to see.
I believe it's underrated, Lance, because also you could chalk it up to another holiday cash grab, which like it's February and we're talking about it, but God bless it. We could have been talking about this at any month of the year. This is a good movie.
Yes. The Valentine Day parts are just an extra aesthetic.
The name of the town is Valentine Bluff. Like
there's some extras that are thrown on there and it adds for some fun for the film, but it's not totally about Valentine's Day in that sense. Like something major happens on that day and we have the trauma of the town afterwards. And
so basically where we're at basically is that this town is now going through it again. We don't know if it's Harry Warden, but people are dying. They finally get the authority to know, which is Doobie. And now he had this idea that shit was going down in the mine, but they were, you know, they were high. Okay. Also, I got to talk about that party that they throw at the rec center of the mine. Sign me up any day of this week and any week. I'm sorry. That party is awesome.
There's a thing with you, I've noticed, because you love the party in H2O. You love the makeshift naughty parties in horror films.
I do.
The parties that are not supposed to happen and the kids just throw together.
Yes.
That's where that's where Halls wants to be.
But do you want to know what else? It's about nooks. I think it's all about nooks. Nooks, slices of your little world, bringing two things that aren't supposed to, because like in H2O, he's like, this is a thing that you've never been down here. This is like two worlds meeting. These girls are like, it's like when you would take your friends to the ranch, or like for me, I would, you know, hey, let's go party at the ranch. And you're like there, you're like seeing them experience it for the first time. I think that's what the allure was of the mine in general. And I'll get to that real quick, but let me talk about this party has freaking everything. Moosehead beer. Yeah. Let's go. They've got lots of beer. They've got snacks. They're throwing chips out like they raided the supermarket, and people are boiling hot dogs in the back. Shit, they have a kitchen, they have pool tables, they have cards, I mean, honestly, I don't understand how this isn't the place where we go party. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying here is like, I want to be at that party because it's like, it's wild. I'm sorry. It's enough to where you could go wild, but it seems like it'll never get too out of hand.
Yeah.
If there wasn't a killer around, obviously.
It's funny because you brought that up. There's another boiling head thing. That kid kind of adds some context to the small town thing because he's going like, I just want to get the hell out of here. Like he wants to party one last time and then he's booking it out of town. He's in the new TJ. I kind of forgot about that, but that's that unsung, like, we need to get out of our small town.
I think everybody who feels that way can relate to those moments. I think there's honestly a lot in this movie that different walks of life can relate to.
Yeah.
You can relate to the guy that wants to leave the small town. You can relate to the people that have to come back. You can relate to the people who don't want to leave, who are just happy.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, there's certain, like, honestly, dude, you're watching this movie and you see this little town they don't need anything else. You get it. I think there's something comforting about being able to get up in the morning if you're a man in that town, and not that you have to be, but for the majority, the men in that town get up and they go work their ass off.
Yeah.
And you don't have, it's like, it's grunt work, it's honest work, and you get to just live it up at the end of the day. But you get to work with your friends, you're cutting it up. It's never really hard work. I mean, it is hard work, but what I'm saying is like, it's never really like, you know, punching a clock and being around people I don't like. You know what I mean? It's like they all genuinely like each other. And it's that moment like when they all clock out, they're hitting the town and they go see their girls, dude. It's like,
everyone's a friend. Everyone knows each other. I mean, everyone in this town knows who they are.
There's something comforting about that. I think that's what makes this movie such a nice slice of, you know, horror life as it is. There's something just so, like I said, comforting, but there's also something so familiar. Unless you've grown up in a big city your whole life, then you don't understand. But at the same time, you know, it's not like you can't watch it if you can't relate.
No, not at all. And again, when you have a cast of characters like this that you understand, just they all know each other, they work hard, they play harder.
Yeah, I like that.
So when they do die in front of you,
it sucks.
It sucks. But as an audience member, you're like, oh, not him, you know, not her. Like, why?
No, but you're kind of torn apart. You're torn in between. Oh, damn it. Not Hollis. Yes, Hollis dies, folks. And he doesn't die in like I think that was that another victim of the uncut version? Yeah, because the one I watched, he just has a nail in his head and he flops down on the ground. So you can't find the uncut version, huh?
You can. Scream Factory has put it out, but it's only on Blu-ray.
I'm gonna buy it tonight.
I think it's like $25. Go find it. Theatrical version's on Prime. You guys can watch it.
Yeah, please do that. Yeah. So Hollis dies with a nail to the head. You said Howard dies, and now we're stuck in the mine. Okay, so here's what happens. There's the rec room, then there's the mine. Hollis takes Sylvia, Howard, and Sarah down the mine.
Yeah.
Because they're like, let's go down the mine. Oh, Axel and TJ have a fight. Bleh. They have a fight, and Axel whoops TJ's ass, let's be honest. He does, dude.
He does?
He punches him like twice, and Axel and TJ can't even get a punch in. Then, if you notice, TJ's like buttoned up, right? He's like, why don't you leave her alone, Axel? Right? He's telling him. And then Axel and him get into a fight. Then, by the end of the movie, TJ's like full taco meat, chest hair, just with a bandana, just like trying to be all the sex. He's like, where are you guys going? You're going down in the mine? And Hollis is like, dude, I'm going to take your girl to calm down. We're going to go on this little fun. They're going to go in the rail cars. They're going to get in the rail cars. He says it that way. And they're going to go down the mine. They're going to go down and, take the ride, basically. It's like fun. So that's when the shit really starts, because the parties get separated, and then at the rec room, they see the heart in the water, they see the dead body in the freezer, and now Axel and TJ basically join forces to go save the rest of the party that went down the mine. So it's coming to it's coming to the end. We don't know if it's Harry really, but we eventually find out.
We've kind of started pointing fingers here and there. I mean, there's a little bit of a hint at who may be and all this kind of stuff, but There's some cool scenes in this, man. The mine car ride. Like,
oh, I want to be on that ride.
Put
on but he makes something. He's like, I'm like, why do they have all these blankets to give to people? Like Hollis grabs a bunch of blankets and just gives to everybody. I'm like, yeah, because it would be fucking freezing.
Yeah.
It's like, again, 2,000 feet down. It's very deep.
Yeah. So there's this fun, like, there's also a fun mine car where Harry Warden is actually on it with them. Like, can you imagine being stuck? And again, like, the mine car isn't just like this comfortable little ride. Like, you're ducking while you're riding this thing. So now you got Harry Warden coming after you on this thing.
I mean, they couldn't have cast a lot of tall people.
No, but it's such an interesting scene. Like, what other slasher movie do you see like a mine car with the killer coming after you besides Train?
DuckTales. No.
Jimmy Lee Curtis, the Train movie.
Terror Train.
Terror Train. Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, besides that. Look. Just some cool things you get to do in a mine. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So obviously Hollis meets his end. Sylvia is very distraught, and again, they don't shy away from it. They let you know that the characters are going to be affected by these deaths, and I've always. I like that. Take that moment to show us real pain, real anguish, because it's real. God bless it. If you were able to see that your loved ones or people that you care about, your friends, they got killed right in front of you, would just be like, we got to go. I mean, yes, you got to survive, but at the same time, no, you have a moment like I'm fully like when Sylvia sees Hollis dead, she's going to stay with him. I'm like, she's going to stay with him because I kind of probably would be in that situation. I'm like, I don't give a shit. I'm going to stay right here. Yeah. Killer can come get me. Y'all bounce. So finally, it comes down to we see Axel, TJ, Sylvia, and Sarah all together. They're trying to get out of the mine. So they're doing this whole thing where Axel and TJ know their way around the mine. So they're like on opposite ends of the group. And Axel gets separated, and it's assumed that Axel, because he makes makes a noise and he falls into the water, or you see that his helmet at least is falling down in the water, and they're like, TJ, help him. He's like, I can't help him anymore. It's 60 feet down. And I'm like, this dude is fully abandoning the American accent, which is, I don't care. Honestly, I don't care. I wish it would have just played him as English dude. Yeah. It'd be like, why does he have an English accent? Don't ask questions you don't want to know the answer to. What? And that's not an English accent. That's Irish. His accent.
That was kind of Irish.
That's what he's doing.
Yeah, that's true. He kind of goes in between all these different accents.
Sarah's down in the mine. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. Culmination, there's Harry Warden, gonna fight TJ, and TJ and him are wrestling around. TJ finally gets to get Harry Warden's mask off, and it's revealed.
I believe it's actually Sarah that pulls it off.
Sarah pulls it around and revealed.
It's Axel.
It's Axel. There are no good Axels, just Axel Foley. I mean, in movies, I'm sure there are good.
Axel Rose? No.
In movies, there are. Dun, 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 dun. Anyway. Yes, it's Axel. And what is revealed as soon as you see Axel's face, outside of the mask, it's revealed that he, as a child, saw his dad, who was one of the managers of the people who were responsible for the Harry Warden and his compatriots. Axel, as a kid, is under the bed, seeing his dad get killed by Harry Warden and gets scarred for life.
Right. And when they pull off his mask, he has tears in his eyes. It's this really quick flashback to this moment of him being under the bed. But again, what you were kind of talking about is like the effects that this trauma has on people. He saw this thing happen. He saw Harry Warden attack, and now here he is. He's playing Harry Warden. He's got the mask. He's killing people, but he's emotional about it.
I guess the way I looked at it, Lance, was it wasn't the fact that he wanted to be Harry Warden. It was the fact that, and I've gone, and thought about this a little bit. He didn't want Valentine's Day to come back because of what happened on that day. Mm-hmm. And think about it. He's warning the town, don't do it, because he just doesn't want Valentine's Day. Why? Because the last Valentine's Day that they celebrated, his dad died. All right. That's the way I look at it, because he's not killing people up until this moment. It's been 20 years and nothing's happened because there's been no dances. Mm-hmm. I don't think because then you tell me, why is he lashing out? Is it because of TJ only? Then why is he killing everybody else? Then why is he sending notes to the mayor?
No,
why is he trying to shut Valentine's Day down? You know?
That totally makes sense until the very end when he's kind of calling out Harry Warden as his hero.
I think he's calling out Harry. I think that's the moment where he flips the switch and
he snaps.
Yeah, he snaps.
Okay.
Oh, because look, during the fight and during all that stuff, the mine collapses on top of Axel, and TJ and Sarah get out. The whole search party with Doobie and Hannigan Sr. They're coming back, and they see what's going on, and Doobie reveals, well, because TJ says it's not Harry Warden. It's Axel. And Doobie says, yeah, I know. I got the call.
Yeah.
Harry's been dead for 5 years. Thanks for telling us. Jesus Christ. I mean, like, all of it just, I mean, this is the way movies are supposed to be. It was like really nice that it came all the way at the end. And then they're digging through the rubble because a bunch of miners show up to like help. And Axel's alive. Yeah. And you were just talking about it.
Well, you got to say the same, man. You're the one that does impersonations around here. So,
well, I'll tell you. This is the reason that this movie sticks in my head.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, I love Hollis. I love everything about the small town. I love the rec center, and I love the parties. I love it all. But the part that freaks me out, remember, there are different aspects of why we like these movies, and it has to scare us.
Mm-hmm.
This is the scariest part. Axel loses an arm in the rubble. Sarah rushes down. She wants to see Axel, I guess, to like get answers because it's huge. The dude you've been dating is a fucking serial killer or whatever. And he starts, they can't get to him. He doesn't want to be got to, but there's a hole enough to see. And he starts fading into the background. He just starts cursing. This whole fucking town's gonna burn. Mm-hmm. Harry, I'm coming. And as he's saying this, he's fading. And all you see is the headlamp. And when I say fading, he's going back into the mine. Back. And it's like, that's endless. Like, say that, but yes, obviously, it does have an end, but it's like, for all he's going to be fading back there for a while, and he just keeps on talking, and he keeps on fading away, and his voice gets fainter and fainter, and he says, Sarah, be my bloody Valentine. Daddy's home. He sings something, and he just fades away, and that's how the movie ends.
Yeah.
Like, that's terrifying, dude. Yeah.
But in that, I know that Harry Warden just died, so I guess that makes a little more sense. But he's saying we're coming back.
Yeah,
which is so interesting to me because it's like, is he taking on Harry Warden's personality? Like, does he know that he has a split personality? And he's like, me and Harry are coming back, and we're both going to be the killer. I
mean, it could be. I mean, yeah. If he's using the collective, right, or the we, he has to mean that he has a backup for sure.
Yeah. Definitely open for a sequel.
Oh, I think. Yeah. I mean,
for sure.
I'm surprised it didn't get a sequel.
Well, Danny, they pitched one in 2001.
Like direct sequel?
Yes. The same filmmakers pitched it, but because this film did not do very well, because they didn't release the uncut version, we did not get that sequel.
What would the sequel have been?
I don't know. I don't know the concept of that one. I know that it's the same filmmakers, but those same filmmakers came back and did the remake in 2009.
Well, they would have had a one-armed Harry Warden, or Axel in this case, so he would have been able to be picked out of a lineup real quick.
It would have been another 20 years. It would have been the perfect timing.
Sure. Yeah. 20 and
every 20 years.
You say perfect timing, but any of you monsters out there, Michael and all you people, if you want to get away with it, don't be waiting for these numbers that are perfect.
Do it 19, 21. Do it around the anniversary.
Yeah. It's 41 years. Nothing's going to happen.
It's fine.
Not for another 4 years at least.
Yeah, you hold your breath for the decade pieces, right?
Right. Or the half decades.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh, and of course, got to mention, it ends with what is so many more movies should just start doing this. It has its ending theme song. Yeah. It has its own theme song. It's a ballad of Harry Warden. It's beautiful. I don't know it by heart. If not, I'd sing it.
I said this before the show. Every slasher should have their own theme music at this point. I know a lot of comic book heroes get their own these days. I think every slasher needs one from now on.
I mean, the Ballad of Harry Warden, It's just like it's
very folky, like Neil Young a little bit.
It's a little, right?
A little bit.
But you could just imagine somebody with a guitar. You can imagine TJ with a guitar in his flannel. He's got a blue one like this. It's blue instead of red. Which, dude, you're in a Valentine movie. Get with it. So you could just imagine him on the bluff, you know, just with a guitar singing to Sarah. Yeah. I fought Axel in the mine, and now you are mine. I don't know.
That's not bad.
Mine.
We'll keep playing with that. We'll keep going with that. Make some music for it.
Keep on playing with that. I'm gonna write it down.
All right, Danny. How many sweethearts do you give, sweetheart candies, do you give My Bloody Valentine 1981?
I will give My Bloody Valentine 1981 4 sweethearts.
Perfect. I will give it 4 sweethearts as well. I think everyone needs to watch this film. If you're into slashers, if you're into horror films, again, if you can get your hands on this uncut version, there's 9 extra minutes and they are crucial moments because it makes the killer, the miner, Harry Warden, Axel. What else did we come up with?
No.
Is that all that we came up with? It makes them all a little more badass, a little more aggressive, and you get to see their kills a little bit more. And you get to see all the hard work that went into this film, actually, because there's a lot that you miss. But it's still that good of a film where you have to see it. So that's where I stand on it.
I mean, if anyone tells you that this movie isn't good, you can just tell them to shut the fuck up. That's what you can tell them.
That's Danny. I'm Lance, reminding you to
lock your doors,
bolt your windows,
and be my bloody Valentine.
And join us next time in Slasher's Paradise.